Alrighty, Eddie is back with us in the studio. Welcome, Eddie.
Thank you.
To talk all things Tesla.
Yeah, pleasure to be here. Battery Day just happened.
So what exactly is Battery Day all about?
So basically, Elon Musk announced a couple of months ago that they were going to basically do their investor quarterly update.
And Battery Day combined.
And a Battery Day combined.
Mm-hmm.
And then people were like, ooh, Battery Day, what does that mean? So Battery Day was essentially a snapshot of where they are on their battery technology and their battery manufacturing sort of ramp up. So that's basically what Battery Day was. And I think maybe Wall Street was expecting something else because
they were expecting million mile battery.
Million mile battery.
Everyone had really high expectations of some out of this world technology. Is it?
Well, look, basically what happened was Elon had sort of been saying that their goal was to get to a million mile battery, and that essentially the Tesla semi truck or the semi would have a 1,000,000 mile battery. But what they mean is the battery is not going to go for 1,000,000 miles on a single charge. Okay. What they mean is that I know, done it.
Damn it.
What they mean is that the battery will last 1,000,000 miles.
The life cycle.
The life cycle of the battery. Yeah. Okay, so however many charge and discharges that will take, the battery should get you at least 1,000,000 miles on your odometer. Okay,
right.
In the vehicle.
Toyota just came up with something just last month, which was I think it's an increase in energy density. Mm-hmm. And they announced that, and so we were thinking, well, if Toyota's there, then Tesla must be.
Yeah.
You know, and they bought that other battery company, that tiny startup. Well, maybe not tiny, but it was another
Maxwell.
Yep. Which have some sort of graphene based something. What was the thing that they had?
Yes. The key technology that Maxwell had that Tesla's implementing is basically a dry coat.
Oh yeah.
Process, which gets rid of all the
dendrites,
the water and the wastewater recapturing and recycling.
Ooh.
Which is, for those who don't know, is probably the most energy intense and the biggest waste of energy when it comes to making batteries. Is the whole water part of
right.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. Yeah.
So in Battery Day, they actually had a really interesting slide, which was the size of the footprint of the battery manufacturing plant, and then when you take the water bit out of it, it was literally reduced by like 90%. So Elon's like, this is a massive win now, because if we can dispense with all the water side of the manufacturing, you know, the recapturing, the recycling, and then also the processing part where they use the water, then we can get rid of that. And then essentially what happens is we can not just double, but we can 7 times the efficiency of the
plant
of the same square footage of the plant.
Right.
Yeah.
Because didn't they in the early days, to make sort of environmentally friendly cars and so forth, the cost of manufacturing way outweighed the results that you would get?
Yeah, well, actually, I mean, they were making cars at a loss, right? Because the cost of manufacturing was just so high. But now, obviously, his grand plan was to drive down the cost of the batteries, which were the most expensive part of the manufacturing process.
Isn't he working on this larger battery? So instead of the tiny ones that are kind of the size of a AA, he's now working on a much thicker one that doesn't even come in the pack.
No,
is that right? It just goes straight into the car.
Yeah, so basically it's still in a pack, but not the way we understand packs to be.
Okay.
So the new cell is actually, I don't remember the exact dimensions, but it's significantly larger. Like there was a leak prior to Battery Day of somebody in the factory actually holding one of these cells in their hands, and it looked like a can of beer. That's how big it was.
Wow.
What about the energy density?
So what they did was they figured out a way to increase the energy density, because I guess from a manufacturing standpoint, when you're manufacturing a battery, the bigger the diameter of the battery, the higher the increase in the density per weight is in the battery itself, right? Because the diameter, every time you go out a millimeter in a diameter, you actually get
more,
right? So it's the pi inverse or whatever it is, energy density of the actual thing. But then you get to a certain size where the battery becomes too big, right? And then you start having issues with heat and expansion and all of that. So what they did was they actually figure out the optimal size, right? So where you've got the maximum energy density for still having an efficient battery for heat and expansion and all that sort of stuff. So they've arrived at this this perfect sort of battery size.
And that is without the wet manufacturing process.
That's right.
And it's higher density.
That's right.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah. So it's driving down the cost of batteries is the big takeaway, really. Yeah. And Musk kind of announced that in a year and a half to 2 years they'll be able to do a $25,000 US car. Right. So that's massive, because when you think about a Tesla, right, even the entry model Model 3, the total cost of ownership is similar to that of a Toyota Camry, right? And they've done all the analysis
with the
on
servicing,
that, right?
yes.
Okay, so servicing, savings
costs.
on fuels, parts, all that sort of stuff. Over time,
amortized over the life of the car.
That's right, and the longer you own the car, the cheaper it is to own.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
And when you think about this new type of battery and the higher energy density, that means you can have the same energy output with less battery. So that means the car is lighter.
Yeah.
Which then makes it more efficient, and faster, etc. So
that's right. Yeah. So
and cheaper.
This new battery that he announced in Battery Day, that there's so many key factors that are going to give Tesla a massive edge on their competition, because essentially they're increasing the speed at which they can manufacture the battery. So at the moment, they had some shortages announced. That's their bottleneck, right? Is the batteries. So the more batteries they can make, the faster they can fulfill their demand backlog that they've got. So they can't literally make battery packs fast enough. Okay, so with this new manufacturing process, they're actually going to speed it up significantly. And essentially, what he's done is, I mean, he's a bit of a crackpot genius when you think about it. He's essentially
yes, he is.
He's got the raw materials going in one end of this factory, and out the other end comes a battery, cars. Right?
Yes, yes.
And what happens between the raw materials and the battery is kind of a miracle of manufacturing, really. Essentially, what happened with the old process is, with batteries essentially a 3-ply coil of materials. Okay, so you've got your anode, exactly, anode, cathode, and then you've actually got a separator which stops them from discharging instantaneously. Which was liquid before. That's right. So now you've got this process where you've got 3-ply and you're rolling them up, but then to get the charge out of the battery, you have to add tabs. Yes, right? And he's got it tabless now. How the heck? That's right. So you have to add tabs. So basically what happens is you're rolling, stop everything, 2 little robots come in and add tabs, and then, okay, start rolling again, rolling, and then your battery... This is to join the two sides between the, I guess what you call the separator, so that the current will flow through it. Exactly. And he's been able to do that now without the tabs. So essentially what happens is, from beginning to end, the manufacturing process, the battery itself doesn't stop, right? It doesn't stop. It doesn't move from one machine to another machine, and then that machine adds the tabs, and then it moves to another machine, and that adds, the caps on the end, and then it's just one machine, raw materials in, batteries out, and the whole process in between. It doesn't stop moving until a battery comes out the other end.
Wow, that's pretty awesome.
So from a manufacturing perspective,
that's pretty good,
isn't insane. It? And if you take the time to actually have a look at the Battery Day footage, you actually have a glimpse of the insides of the actual pilot plant that they've got running there in Fremont, California. And you just see, like, everything's just moving. It doesn't stop. And out the back just pops a battery.
Wow.
So they've increased not just the ability to make a higher energy density battery, but they've increased their ability to actually make them. And there's a whole side that we can get into as well with the chemical composition of the new batteries, right? They've gotten rid of cobalt altogether.
I was going to mention that.
All right, so it's a lot more not just sustainable, but it's, you know, obviously sustainability is a big part of it, but getting rid of cobalt, cobalt is actually a massive bottleneck.
A few African nations cried out in anguish at the announcement of no more cobalt.
So that removes another bottleneck from the process, because getting your hands on clean cobalt is actually a bit of a trick.
Yeah.
So to break it down, the only way you can get to a $25,000 battery electric vehicle is by driving down the cost of the battery, and the only way to do that is to basically manufacture as efficiently as possible, source the cheapest possible materials, and then create a battery that you actually need less materials for the same energy density per gigawatt within the car to go the same amount of mileage that you would normally, right? So to kind of break it down, they've reduced the battery costs by 50%. Okay,
Is that all?
That's
pretty good. That's pretty good.
That's very impressive.
But they've
But
also.
does that mean that translates into what does that have to what happens to the existing fleet of electric cars? Does their per resale price get affected by this in a certain way, much the same way as, you know, if you had what was something? We had a
steam-powered car.
a Black Magic 4K, and then the 6K came out, and that made the 4K cheaper. Now the 12K has come out, which has pushed the 6K even cheaper.
Yeah.
So as the technology rolls out in these cars, I guess you'd have to expect something to happen. I mean, you would expect that anyway.
Yeah,
obviously.
exactly. You
So
would
it's
expect that.
It's not exactly unique.
So what happens is every time there's a step change in technology, the previous technology kind of
It's phased out.
phases out and also depreciates.
Yeah.
So you would assume then that all this new technology will be backwards compatible. Like you're a Tesla owner.
Yeah.
So when these new batteries are released, it should just be an easy retrofit in your vehicle, I would assume.
I would assume that, but I'm actually not hoping on praying on that, to tell you guys the truth, because it's actually a completely different cell size. So the pack would be different. That means that the internal space to accommodate that pack would need to change, and they'd probably have to re-engineer the whole skateboard.
But I'm sure there
underneath
could be third party houses that would do that.
Yeah.
Because there would be a market for it.
But I foresee these battery packs when they get to end of life. I mean, Musk talked a lot about recycling as well. So at the moment, they're like 94% recyclable, and he's striving to get to 99, right? So so the batteries themselves currently are already almost 100% recyclable. Wow. So they would probably just take those and either recycle them to get the raw materials out and make new batteries, or they would basically put them in stationary energy storage systems, like like Powerwall or any sort of home or industrial size energy storage, because they're still good for that, right? You don't need 0 to 100 in 3.5 seconds when you're running your house off a battery. So the discharge doesn't need to be there. You know, you're basically just holding charge.
Right. And he also had a new innovation where the car would help the house sell money back to the grid and help stabilize the grid.
Yeah. So he's got a.
That sounds interesting.
He's got a bit of software called Auto Bidder.
Yeah, and it will make it will take the cheapest possible route for the customer and it'll sell back to the grid when the grid's the most expensive.
Yeah.
That's a good announcement. I like that.
Yeah. So that's called auto bidder, and that's he's currently using that himself. So
nice.
I think it's probably going to, make the cost of ownership even cheaper if that comes to Teslas.
That can put the electricity companies kind of had quite a bit of power when it came to this.
Yeah.
And they lobbied a lot for restrictions on solar and how solar can be put back and fed back into the grid, and this is perhaps tipping the balance more more in favor of the consumer, because it's been so unfavorable up until now it's still unfavorable. So
exactly, yeah. So I mean, there are guys with solar now that are paying whatever it is, 12 cents, and they're selling it back at 3 cents. So they're clearly getting ripped off. Hard ripped off. But now with auto bidder, obviously that changes the tide a little bit.
Because imagine you're an electricity company, you have to have so many additional power plants on standby to take load during peak, and you have now this growing, what do you call it? Like electric.
Demand, sort of?
Well, it's like a repository of energy that you can draw on from the entire plugged-in electric car network that's charging to help level out the demand. Yeah. But with auto bidder, it's like, okay, if you want that, then you have to pay a premium or some sort of premium. You can't just leech off the customers.
So that's a good point. I think a lot of people were expecting Elon to announce vehicle to grid technology, and that wasn't announced, and that's maybe another reason why the share price took a bit of a
what
dive.
I should have done? I should have sold, because I anticipated the share price would have gone down.
Yeah.
Should have sold and bought as it started to climb. I was looking at it last night, and it was climbing. It hit
372.
It was lower. It was 360 something.
Really?
And then I thought, and then it was 368. Then it went to 369, 370. I'm like, nah.
Should have bought. Yeah.
I went to sleep, woke up, it's 390 something.
Yeah, it's like 407 now.
Well,
something
it
like that.
is 387.79.
387. Okay.
It was higher, see?
Yeah,
it was higher.
It was higher when I saw it.
Oh, yeah.
It was over 400 at one point, I remember that.
But see, that 400, people would have had in their software as soon as it hits 400.
Simon, why don't you change to the day view and see what it did overnight? Okay. Yeah, there we go.
So,
yeah.
Let's just see. Where are we now?
Got pretty close to 400.
So, 7%?
Yeah.
See, I need to play it faster.
Yeah, my funds didn't clear in time, actually.
Oh, really?
I sent someone that said, 9 a.m. New York, and then when I had a look at it, it still wasn't there. So that's a few.
Because I could have made a bit of cash twice now, because it dipped by 20% twice. I could have sold it and bought it again at the bottom.
You know what? Tesla's one of those stocks where
Yeah.
You're going to make money if you buy it and you hold it.
And you hold it.
No matter what. But if you're going to do the day trading, it's...
I'm not a day trader.
It's a little volatile.
I'm not fast enough.
Yeah.
I'm not. I have really trouble. Put your bid in and... and it's not the bid that's on the ticker. I found that out the hard way. Anyway,
Yeah.
You have to put a bit more, otherwise it won't sell. Anyway.
You have to add the spread.
Yeah.
So look, basically, the big announcements were new battery, new manufacturing process, reduction in costs, new car.
They didn't say million-mile battery.
They didn't say million-mile battery,
Yep.
but I've got money on the fact that the battery that was announced is a million-mile battery. Okay.
Why wouldn't they announce it then?
I'm not sure. Maybe because they haven't tested it and proven it, right? Because they're just manufacturing the first cells now. But
you wouldn't want to shoot yourself in the foot.
Hey, this brings up another question. This brings up another thing that I was thinking about. Why did they raise $5 billion when they did? Because they knew that they would affect the share price.
Yep.
Oh, with splitting it?
No. They did a $5 billion capital raise. Capital raise.
But I've got a good answer to that, and it's educated conjecture. Let's put it that way.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm not Elon Musk. I don't know what he's thinking, but essentially, they've got a lot of gigafactories that they want to build. Okay.
Yeah.
The price was at a good point, when they issued those stocks or the stock options for 5 billion, they control when the shares get sold, how much of them get sold. So they've got pretty much full control over that stock offer. So my guess is that they're sort of, that's like kind of a, I don't want to say it's a rainy day fund, but basically it's side money that they can draw upon regardless of whatever the share price is doing when they need that cash, right? Because essentially, if they want to build a gigafactory in South Africa or a gigafactory in India or another gigafactory in China, gigafactories are between 1 to 1.5 billion.
That's pretty cheap.
A gigafactory, right?
That's super cheap.
So
compared to, you know,
the
numbers that they've been throwing.
So 5 billion gets him around 3 to 5 gigafactories.
Look, I thought that Tesla did that because they knew something that we didn't. Like, they knew, oh, look, battery day is just going to fly up, so we might as well, get our fundraiser now. The share price might dip, but it's going to come back in battery day. I don't know. That was my thoughts.
Well, it kind of has. I mean, it took a bit of a bite overnight, and it's almost back to where it was pre-battery day.
Well, before battery day was 440.
Yeah, give it a couple of days. It's only been 24 hours. It's only been 24 hours. But look, getting back to some of these numbers that I think a lot of analysts didn't know how to actually
they don't
absorb it, right? And they're absorbing it now, and it's starting to dawn on them. And some of the, I guess, the more bearish analysts still can't sort of see the
short sellers?
Yeah. Well, not just Tesla shorts or the shorts, but or Tesla Q or whatever you want to call them. But I'm talking about guys that, are kind of Tesla enthusiasts, but they don't really understand the significance of what was announced as well, right? They're like, "Oh, cool, the 25K car," but that's like 10% of what's going on here. Do you know what I mean? Like,
see, that's also the thing. That's the whole market is also, it's based on every single person's opinion combined.
Yeah,
and you got some people that will go, "Wow, that's amazing," and other people will be confused. So the share price is doing all sorts of things.
Yeah, exactly. And there might be some profit taking there as well, and who knows what's going on. But look, 50% reduction in costs, 54% increase in range.
What? Really?
54% increase in range of the vehicle. Okay, that's total though. That's not just the batteries only contribute, I think 18%, 14%, I can't remember, of that total range. The range increase actually comes from other manufacturing stuff that's happening with the car itself.
Well, like less weight,
regeneration,
stuff like that.
Ooh, baby, he's got a big old stamping machine, and he's just stamping out literally a quarter of the car at a time.
Wow!
So forget about welding and putting cars together like piecemeal. He's stamping a quarter of a car, the whole front end and the whole back end of the car getting stamped out in one go in this giant casting press that he's got. And it's just insane.
Wow.
It's the biggest in the world.
If it's being stamped, then it must be. We have to see it. We have to just check that out. Is there something on?
There is something
online.
There is something online.
Could we just take a look?
So he's all about lithium right now. He's losing his mind with lithium and silicon.
I think it was a silicon. There was another one he mentioned, like palladium or something.
Can't recall. Either way.
Yeah. Sorry.
This is the real linchpin here is 70% reduction in investment costs for the same output per gigawatt hour.
That's huge.
Okay.
That's huge.
70% in investment less. Okay,
yes.
So it's actually costing him 70% less to produce a
That.
battery that has the same amount of energy as previously.
Wow.
So I'm not sure if people are getting their head around that.
Yeah.
And kind of the massive contribution that is to actually lowering the cost of battery electric vehicles and batteries, just batteries themselves, right? Those batteries can go into
everything.
automated drones and aircraft and ships and all sorts of stuff, right? The reason you couldn't previously cast such big items is because the forces involved to press aluminium or any kind of steel something that big. Actually,
Well, stainless steel is very hard to press.
It warps materials, right? So because there's so much stress to press something that big, when it comes out of the actual cast, the material itself warps, kind of like kind of like a wafer or a crisp, like.
Yeah. So do they heat it?
That's right. So basically, the material itself deforms because of the pressing process itself.
Mm-hmm.
So their wizards over there at Tesla Material Sciences have developed an alloy that can get pressed without deformation, and that changes the game complete, right? Because instead of 15, 16 different pieces that then need to be kind of spot welded together or bolted together, this is all just coming out of one single cast machine. Bang, it just goes in, presses, bang, the whole thing's done in like a minute or less or something. Right?
Wow.
So they're literally they're revolutionizing how manufacturing a vehicle is done.
Yeah.
So if you can sort of wrap your head around how fast these things are going to get churned out.
Very.
And not only that, but there's improvements in structural integrity there as well, okay, because you don't have any joints.
There's less joints, yes.
Not only that, but you can actually 3D CAD this stuff to
and test it, yes.
And force test it. But you can make it lighter,
because
right?
the computer can figure out
That's right. You can involve negative spaces. You can actually custom mold to fit specific battery designs for individual vehicles.
You can say these are the stress points and these are the load bearings that I want the goals, and then the computer just designs the least material to achieve that.
And then they tool a cast for it. That might take, I don't know, a couple of weeks, a month, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And then they put it in the big machine and out pops your cast.
Wow.
So it's crazy. So
did we find the...
No. I've just got random articles because it's so fresh.
All right.
I haven't got anything specific. We'll just...
if we find it, we'll overlay it.
Yeah. We'll add something magically in post.
We'll chuck it in post.
Yeah, nice. Fix it in post.
All right. Hey, so while we're here, there was... can you see if you can look up Tesla? Just type palladium.
Yeah. Oh, look out. You even know the website I'm looking at. Yeah. Tesla's secret project Palladium, the new Model S.
And X are coming. Yeah. So this is kind of the code.
Oh, that's where I heard
this
the word
This is the
Palladium.
codeware for their internal project for the Model S and Model X refresh.
Sorry, I must have got my wires crossed. Yeah.
Look at that machine there. There we go.
I thought it was the battery tech.
No.
But they are having a new Model S refresh.
Apparently. Well, basically... I'm a little confused, right? Because
you know why? Because people are like cheering now. It's like the Taycan with 2 gears has bested the Model S, even in the ludicrous mode thing. And people are rejoicing. See, it's Porsche. Porsche did it. It's because it's Porsche, and Porsche know how to. But it's a family sedan.
Yeah.
You got a race car and you're comparing it to a family sedan, which has been fine, because something that does a quarter mile in 10.5 seconds. It's like Lamborghinis, Ferraris.
It's
like
your supercar type style.
It's the supercar territory anyway.
Yeah.
So,
but Porsche have always been built fast cars. Even their SUVs are fast, right? I think the thing with Porsche is obviously they have really high quality materials inside and out.
I love Porsche.
And
I love Porsche.
They do develop...
You know why I love Porsche? Sorry.
Why?
No, go ahead, tell me.
Well, they are still a private company, and it's within the same family, and they've always just kept to their roots. Mm-hmm. They want to build performance cars. They've even stuck with the flat six design. Oh, no, sorry, is it flat six?
It is
it's flat six design.
Yeah.
Mostly because they were moving away from it, but the customers were like, no. The flat six. I want the flat six. They go, yeah, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
They stuck with the flat
sales
six.
Sales go, ooh, sales back up.
Yeah, because they didn't know that their 911 would be the model that everyone wanted. But they embraced that, and they made it their own, and they have such a pedigree in sports and all this in motor racing.
True.
And it's just a shame that people who just want to make it into some sort of tribalism where you've got for Porsche to succeed, Tesla must fail. It's like we're happy that both of them. They're both good. The Taycan is good.
We actually need both of them,
and we need
succeed.
the competition.
That's
yes.
right. Look, Elon's quite
He
openly
said that.
stated.
He said
you know,
that. Yes.
like we need more players in the market. We need people to move the needle, right? So he's very clear. We've got somewhere in the vicinity of 3 billion cars on the planet. So we've got a huge legacy auto issue here, right? And to move that to sustainable electric vehicles, Tesla can't do it on their own. And, you know, by 2030, they're talking about 3 terawatt hours of battery manufacturing capacity. 3 terawatt hours. So at the moment, they're calling the factories gigafactories. Think about a terafactory, right?
That's
so
right.
It's literally an order of magnitude more.
3 orders of magnitude.
Well, 3 orders of magnitude. Well, you don't know how many what's they're manufacturing at the moment. They could be manufacturing 3.
Right.
But look, the point is that to move the needle on this stuff on a global scale, we need as many players in the market as, and Musk has also openly said, you know, use our technology, come and use it. He's made all these patents open,
free,
patent free. So come steal our stuff, make it right. But that's not going to stop him from creating.
Because a lot of his stuff's open source, isn't it? You can play with it and stuff.
Nicola was trying to sue Tesla on their Tesla truck design. Yeah. And then it was just
and then it rolled down a hill.
Yeah, it was just this ridiculous thing. Yeah. But I mean, that just goes to show that there's just, you know, if you try and get bogged down with all the details, it does become very complicated. I mean, it's real life.
Yeah,
it does become very complicated. So we have to like streamline our what we talk about so that we don't lose track. So we've got not the million mile battery. We've got the battery tech.
I think it might be a million mile battery.
Yeah, you think it might be a million mile battery, but it's not official yet. Battery tech, efficiency is 50%, manufacturing efficiency is 70%, and you got the Terra factories on course. Yep. And yet the share price still tanked, but it's only because, you know, there's investor caution. You know, it's just up to people's gut feeling.
Well, you need a product to prove itself before it starts to gain momentum.
The share price thing, I think, is actually twofold. One, there was nothing tangible that shareholders could see. Yeah, look, that would be at market tomorrow.
Yes, it's a few years away.
It's implementation announcement.
Right,
that's right.
Exactly, and it's also Elon time. Okay, so if Elon says 1.5 to 2 years, you're probably looking at 3 years plus.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was a bit underwhelmed when I saw. I'm going to be brutally honest. Yep. I was underwhelmed when I looked at Battery Day because there was so much hype building, and when I saw Battery Day, and I was like, okay, they did all the investor stuff, and now we're coming down to the battery part of Battery Day, and I was trying to be excited. Then I saw your tweet. This is blowing my mind. I'm like, is it? Okay.
Well, how is it blowing his mind?
How's Eddie's mind getting blown?
So what were you referring to specifically then,
He has
Eddie?
a mind made out of C4. So basically, look, it was the main thing that was blowing my mind was the
manufacturing costs and all this.
The costs and the reduction in costs for batteries and the removal of the bottleneck for manufacturing and the new technologies
That's the main thing.
That's the main thing.
From an economic perspective, that is such a plus.
It changes the game, all right? So you think
to make anything cheaper, that's genius. You know?
Yeah. So let's put it into context. Tesla's first car, the Roadster, I think was 2007, 2008. 2011, they came with the Model S.
Yes.
Okay. We're in 2020. People are trying to catch the Model S.
Yes.
From 2011. That's 9 years ago. People are trying to catch that car. People are trying to... people are using that car as a reference to try and build cars now.
Yes.
And they can't even do it.
I remember now.
And Musk is out there going, guys, forget about what happened in 2011. I'm talking 2022, 2023.
Yep.
We're going to change the game. And if you want to compete, please do. Yep. But I'm telling you, this is what we're doing, and we're absolutely going to barnstorm. So
see, he brought up a lot of things that were good, but people weren't anticipating. people were anticipating million-mile battery, and now I remember what the other thing people were anticipating: autonomous driving level something.
Yeah, either 4 or 5, right?
Yeah, and that didn't come about. So that was I think that's why people were going, oh, he didn't mention the thing I wanted him to mention.
Yeah.
And then he didn't mention the other thing I wanted him to mention.
Yeah. Because with an announcement, you want people to go, we are releasing this. And they've just said, this is what's in the works. Whereas people were like, I wanted a new product.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted something, like me personally, I think I was set on if they could announce a new type of battery, not just efficiencies here, which was amazing.
Yeah.
But if they announce a new type of battery that could pack so much density in, and that I maybe he kind of did in a way mention it
he did.
to an extent,
Yes.
but it wasn't the Steve Jobs
It was unexpected.
wow moment.
Well, I think people were going, and his one more thing would be, and
the one more thing, Steve Jobs, one more thing.
I think people were actually thinking, and they've been in Model 3s and Model Ys for the past month. So all new Model 3s and Model Ys now have this new battery technology in them, and clearly that's not the case. He's basically showcasing technologies that they're working on.
And he tweeted, I think he tweeted the day before Battery Day to try and calm people down.
Calm people down, just chill.
Like,
just chill, you know.
Can't wait for Battery Day is going to be... Wait.
Yeah, see, there's an expectation of the general public that we're getting something new, and, we're working on something new.
Yeah. But Twitter is such an echo chamber, and, you know, you've got like the fanboys. Okay, so you've got the people that are so hype that you can't put them out.
As the share price is tanking, it was like, oh look, it's on sale. Tesla shares on sale.
Sale, that's right.
Oh my gosh!
And then you've got the bears, right? Where
I told you it's coming down. This is an unsustainable company.
That's right. Okay.
$35 in 5 days. You'll see.
And they're both trying to shout louder, right? And Elon's in the middle going, guys, you got it completely wrong. You're both wrong. Okay, we're over here doing this.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is a cool, like, because you have to understand. Okay, he's an engineer. Okay, he's got an engineer mind.
Yeah.
He did physics and whatnot, but at his core, he's an engineer.
That's what he does. That's what his brain
and
does.
And he's like, man, in 2 years, I'm going to be able to make a car.
You know what? Yes.
$19,000.
Look, I noticed this about Elon, and I was looking at myself because I started doing programming, blah blah blah, and so my thing is, I somehow generalize, what's happening here, this is happening here. That's how you make a program. You write something that's a general version of whatever they want to automate or whatever.
Yeah.
And my son's spitting things out. He goes, "Oh, Dad, you know that this and this usually happens?" Like he would say something, and it would be the general version of whatever is happening.
Yeah.
And something. Oh, he must have my mind.
That reasoning. Engineer reasoning.
Because he just keeps doing that over and over again. Yeah. I'm like, that's just the same thing. See, and I did it myself.
Yeah.
I took all the stuff he was saying. Well, you're just reasoning in general.
Yeah.
So, and Elon, I remember there was a behind the scenes of Elon talking about his kids. And his kids were running around everywhere. And he goes, look, I've got 5 kids. I think he had 5 kids at that time. And there's a 20% chance that one kid will always be crying at any one time. And it's always, I'm thinking to myself, this is just so Elon.
That's very Elon.
Elon's constantly thinking like that. And so obviously he's going to think like that for his company.
Exactly.
So
but that's, I think, why his critics are so hard on him, and also why his fans are inconsolably team Elon, right?
Yeah.
Because you either get him or you don't. And if you don't get him, which a lot of Wall Street analysts don't, they're like, who is this guy running this, multi-billion-dollar company, just talking fairy fluff and unicorn dust over here that nobody understands?
Yeah.
Show me something real. Show me something to market. Show me your sales. Show me your profit percentage. All that sort of stuff. And they're like, okay, and then let's take that. Let's put it in a pie chart and say, okay, the stock is overvalued.
A lot of these analysts,
but you can't understand.
Look, I've spoken to a few of these analysts. And it's literally, have you seen Wolf of Wall Street? Have you seen Matthew McConaughey's
No, I haven't actually seen it.
Yeah. He's like, I'm thinking, he's like, Nobody knows where the share price is. It's like fairy dust. It's like that's them. There's like half of the traders that like have no idea what's going on.
What's going on? If it goes up, sell. If it goes down, buy.
Yeah, they have these trend lines, and they go, "It's hit the trend line, so we're going to do day trading. It's this. Sell it now. Done."
Yeah,
that's all they care about.
Trying to do technical analysis on Tesla's stock is good luck to them. Good luck to them. I mean, Elon could send a tweet tomorrow, and you drop 40% of your share price. Yeah. Draw that on a trend line. So
Tesla is actually overvalued. Ding ding ding.
Yeah. So it's you just don't know. And to his credit, he's been a lot better on social media, Twitter specifically.
Oh yeah, after the cave.
Right. Yeah.
Remember your failure at the cave.
I'm not familiar with that. You want to?
Don't be familiar with it, please.
Don't bring it back, Simo.
Okay.
It hurts everyone.
All right. Okay.
It hurts everyone.
It involves a submarine and a cave.
Yeah.
You don't want to know.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah. It just hurt everyone.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
I know.
No, but he has been extremely good. Like I saw his last few tweets before we came on, and they were like on point. So
yeah, he's good. So look, at the end of the day, I think take what you can from Battery Day. I'm not sure how the analysts are sort of playing this out, but they're obviously saying, look, we're not going to build that into the price now. That's some 2022 shit. Let's build it into the price then.
Yeah.
For now, we're going to take the Model S, 3, Y, and X, and we're going to look at sales.
It's
and
S3, XY.
That's right. I know. I did it that way on purpose. Right, you had to take it there.
Oh, god damn it.
Look, I think Tesla's really ahead of the game with battery and the whole manufacturing thing. And really, I think his end game was he said it quite specifically.
Yeah.
Very specifically. Our aim is to be the number one at manufacturing in the world, period. And I think that they're well on the way to doing that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They've had a lot of lessons learned, especially with cars, right? Mm-hmm. But when it comes to the actual building the machine that builds the machine, no one's close. I don't think anyone's close.
Yeah, you know what? And this is a good example. People keep looking at Tesla as a car company when it's actually a technology company.
That's right.
So you look at the S&P 500, right? Standards & Poor's 500. The 500 most valuable companies in America.
Yeah.
And you look at the biggest ones. Okay, Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, Google, Tesla. They're all in computers, software, and internet.
All in that technology
Wait a minute.
sphere.
Oh, no, wait, Tesla make cars. That's a bit strange.
Yeah.
Why are they up there? Well, that's because they're a technology company. Where are the car companies? Well, they're like way down there in the sub $100 billion category. GM and Ford and I mean Toyota's pretty good. They're like up, but they're not in the S&P. Sorry, but So I mean, it's very interesting. You look at the companies that are making all the money, and it is just IT companies.
Yeah.
Microsoft, Alphabet, Google. Sorry, Facebook, even AMD, even Intel. They're climbing up.
Yeah.
Intel's like 200 something billion. AMD's almost Nvidia is like 300 to 400 billion. They do graphics cards.
That's insane.
Yeah,
but you know what?
nuts.
They don't just do graphics cards.
That's bigger than Ford, General Motors, and Toyota combined.
Yeah.
And
That's
BMW.
mental.
It's
That's
just
mental.
So, yeah.
So this is the information age now.
It's the information.
This is
age.
the information
100%.
age.
The one more thing, which kind of blew my mind, and I posted about that as well, was obviously the Model S played lap time at Laguna Seca.
Played. Yes. Wait a minute. This is for the Model S?
For the Model S. So basically,
How much faster?
something that took kind of the air out of the sails of those guys that were basically banking on a Model S refresh was seeing the Model S at Battery Day doing the lap at Laguna Seca. It just looks like a regular Model S. There's no refresh. There's no facelift. It looks like a regular Model S that apparently... So
Isn't that a good thing, though?
Well, it is and it isn't.
Yeah.
Right? Because a
According
lot
to
of people
Henry Ford, no.
the Model S hasn't. It's evolved.
It
once.
lost its grill. Like
Yeah.
it had a pretend grill.
Yeah.
For the first few years, that's gone.
Yeah.
That's about
Right.
it.
So that's about it externally. I will say this though: Tesla cars are constantly evolving, which is why they don't do year models, right? They don't do like the 2018 Tesla Model S. You might have bought it then, but
You have
It's
a
a com-
P85D, P100D.
yeah, but the car itself is. If you bought it in January and you bought one in November, they're different cars.
Oh, the way it's manufactured. And
Yeah,
the way
they're
it's-
constantly
yeah.
tweaking and constantly changing things in the car. So if you were to buy like a car like mine, a Model 3 today, different car to the car I bought in September last year. So
Yep.
different
Right.
car.
Yep.
So they're constantly iterating, and they're not waiting a year to put those
retool.
iterations to work in their cars. They're doing it constantly, right?
That's smart.
It's
That must
very
be.
smart.
I mean, it's you know, it's they're not looking at other manufacturers to I guess lend some ideas on how to do this. They're
They're not
figuring
looking
it
at
out
anyone.
on their
I don't know
own.
anyone
Yeah.
who does that.
Yeah.
They're just
does
going,
that?
oh, we've got a new idea. Let's chuck it in.
Let's chuck it in.
Yeah, I think
Instead of let's wait till next
he
year's
mentioned
model.
he mentioned doing a lot of things through first principles approach. Yes. So
First principles.
he tries to figure out
Yep.
you know what is the most efficient way to do this.
Yep.
Forget about what everyone else is doing.
Exactly.
And that's why he prints his rockets in SpaceX. They print rocket parts.
Wow.
It's just
You know, a lot of people are looking for the first trillionaire. I
Yeah,
reckon Musk is already
he
a
is
trillionaire.
probably.
When you look at the potential of Neuralink, that's $1 trillion company already.
yeah, it's probably going to overtake
SpaceX,
Bezos.
that's $1 trillion company. You throw asteroid mining into SpaceX, that's $1 trillion company.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but like it's a catch-22. You know, if you get an asteroid that's made out of gold and you drop it in, you know, the price of gold here tanks.
Yeah, but
You know,
It
but
could,
I mean,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know what I mean.
They said
Could.
that you know if you need in situ materials in space,
yeah,
there might be a very big case for like in situ mining and
huge,
things like that. Yeah,
huge. Even if you're like the
like bringing up water. They got water on the moon in the
Yeah.
in the cap in the somewhere around the North or South Pole. They have frozen
yeah.
water.
But forget about all that. Even if you're just the FedEx of space,
Right.
even if you're just the FedEx of space, all you do is run
Materials back
heavy
and
lift
forth.
rockets
Yeah.
to the moon base, to Mars, whatever. Even if you're just, that's $1 trillion company, multi-trillion dollar
Oh,
company.
yeah.
And if you
And
have
it's not a public company, by the way.
yes, that's right. It's not.
SpaceX is
We
privately owned.
we tried to
Yeah.
look that up. We couldn't.
Yeah.
But also with automation, once you automate the manufacturing process and you have autopilots, it will literally run itself.
Virtually run it.
So can you imagine then deploying rockets and substations, you know, littered across the orbits around Earth and around Mars? So you've got many points of contact to refuel and reload, that sort of thing. A network.
Yeah.
It's like you don't drive your car out into the desert. You've
No.
got petrol stations, you've got shops, and so I mean, there's potential for so much more out in space. I mean, it's the final frontier. So,
Yeah.
but
For a lot of people, it will be. It'll be the last frontier.
it's the last thing they'll do. Yes,
yeah.
but you know, someone's got to do it
Yeah.
because if you wait around for an excuse to do it, you won't. I mean, you know, if your impetus to go out and do those things is the necessity to, you'll never do it. You'll never find a reason to sail away from Portugal to go to the United States. You'll never find a reason to do that, ever. But somebody did. Marco Polo,
Some idiot.
some idiot, jumped on a ship
Some idiot.
sponsored by the
got funding.
King and Queen
Yeah.
and found the United States.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. But there was no reason to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's no reason to go to Mars that we can justify now if we're talking about poverty. But that's not the way to
But
look
that's
at
why
it.
we need pioneers like Musk who goes,
Yes.
oh, okay,
we
we
have to do
don't
it,
have
yeah.
a necessity for it. I want to.
Well,
And-
the necessity
no.
comes later.
He actually he feels a necessity for it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
how
for-
Musk, because we spoke about the weird way his mind works, right? From
Meteor
first
hitting
principles,
the
he's
Earth.
like,
Yeah.
humanity's completely shitting on this planet. We need a plan B. How
Yeah,
are
yeah,
humans
yeah.
going to survive if an asteroid hits Earth?
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
have a plan B on Mars
Yeah.
Yeah.
or on the moon or something.
There's also
And that's how he's thinking about it.
yeah, if we have a major coronal mass ejection and it just hits us
Oh yeah,
like it did 150 years ago. You know what it did when it hit us 150 years ago?
it wiped out all the telecoms. Or actually, did we even have telecoms 150?
No,
years? We didn't have anything.
we had telegraphs,
Yeah.
and it set fire to the papers on the telegraph.
Wow.
Well, but that's all we had, so that's all it
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if that mass coronal ejection
Yeah.
were to happen now, every cell phone would
Yeah.
just fry.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
single one.
Yeah.
Unless you put it in your microwave.
Well, I'm with Vodafone, so it won't make any difference.
Good old Faraday cage.
Good old
comes to the-
Faraday.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry, yes.
Nice.
But going back to how did we wind up down this little tangent?
Oh, I was just saying
remember.
that because of asteroid mining, and if you wait for a reason to do this, you're going to be waiting and waiting and waiting.
long time.
You need the pioneers.
Yeah, yeah. And I've got to say, like, as far as entrepreneurs go, no one has a sense of urgency like Musk. He's
Yeah.
just like
No,
we've got to
yeah.
do this, and we had to do it yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's get it
We've
done.
got to do this yesterday.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's the catchphrase
That's
there.
the catchphrase.
More sooner than sooner is our motto.
Oh, nice one.
Oh dear.
So anyway, Model S played.
Yeah, tell me how
Played
fast
powertrain.
this is.
Look, so okay, so Porsche Taycan took it, and they said, "Oh, we've got the fastest EV. They got the lap record." And so, put this into perspective. So, Tesla took the Model S to Laguna Seca. It was the P100D at the time, so it was
Yes.
the fastest Tesla. It was the 2.5 second to 100 Tesla.
yeah.
And
On
it-
ludicrous mode.
on ludicrous mode, and it did it in 147 or 148.
For
What,
Laguna
1 minute,
Seca, that's-
48 seconds,
I think
something,
that's
or
good.
something
Okay,
like
yeah,
that, and that's
yep,
fast.
That's good.
Okay, and then the Taycan came and said, "Oh, we're going to do sub 140," and they did.
What?
Yeah, they did 130.
130?
I can't remember. No, not 130. It was
Did it
like
have slicks?
138 or something. I can't remember off the top of my head, but the Taycan beat it. The Turbo S, Taycan Turbo S, and then Lucid. Have you heard of Lucid Motors?
Yes. Yes, they have a very fast
So
car,
they
yeah.
took their Lucid Air
Yeah, it was very fast.
edition or whatever it is, and they absolutely crushed it. They did a 133
Oh my
point something,
gosh.
133 point something. Okay, and that was their their soon to be production
Yes.
version
Yeah.
of their fastest car that they can manufacture with all their whiz bang tech. And Tesla, they haven't even finished refining the Plaid Model S. They haven't finished. Musk said there's probably another 3 seconds to be gained on a lap time at Laguna Seca. They got 130.3 or 130.7.
Wow, it's that much faster than
So
ludicrous.
it's 1 minute 30. So it's actually 3 seconds faster than Lucid, but
is
it's
it
17 seconds faster than the current fastest Tesla Model S.
Oh my gosh, but is it just acceleration and braking, or is it suspension? And I mean, there's so much that goes
It's
into
the sports model, so there is a lot of suspension.
Right.
work.
Okay. Well, then that makes a lot more sense.
And they also have, a lot of grip, performance tires, all that sort of stuff. But these are the performance tires that will be sold with the car. So,
So
they're not
semi slicks at best.
So they're not
Slicks.
they're not tires fitted just for the lap. These
Yeah,
will be production
right.
tires. They will be road ready tires. Okay,
Yes.
you need to be able to drive this
You
car.
can
on a day.
have soft compound road tires.
Yeah, like
that-
my car's got 4Ss, Michelin Pilot 4Ss, and they're a
Okay.
soft compound road tire,
Okay.
a lot of grip. So this thing, and it didn't have any active aero or nothing. It just looked like a
Wow.
regular Model S. I can't even remember.
Still the
seeing,
same weight?
They didn't disclose the weight.
Because
So-
if they have new battery manufacturing
yeah,
and it's 300 kilograms lighter, also.
boom, right.
Wow. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So it does 0 to 60 miles an hour, sub 2 seconds.
Whoa.
So get your head
insane.
around this. So when the Roadster was announced, the 2020 Roadster, which is now going to be the 2022
It was
Roadster,
1.9.
It was 1.9, and that was the base edition.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Without the
you
boosters.
think about it like that's over a G of inertia
yeah.
in a linear acceleration, right? Like, it's
think well
got to be.
past-
It's
It's
immense
good
power.
It's got to be
Wow.
like 2G or something.
1.5.
Yeah, 1.5, something
Something
like
like
that.
that.
It's a ridiculous amount of forces that your body's got to take.
Hmm.
But that lap is, if he was going to do, so 130.5, I looked it up on laptimes.com,
Yes.
and that's actually faster than a McLaren P1 lapped Laguna Seca.
What?
So, you know, the P1 is the one that The Weeknd raps about in his rap song. This is like kind
That's
of
like one of the
Wait a minute.
ultimate cars.
It's one of the
fastest
fastest
cars
cars on
of
the
all
earth.
time, yeah.
wait,
McLaren
Roy's having a
675.
He is.
It's LT. No, I can't remember what the P1
yeah
is.
no the
It's an older one.
the P1 is the older one, but
All right,
it's the first hybrid that McLaren made, and it
Oh, yeah, I don't know anything about it, but yeah, okay.
it set all these benchmark records.
625. Yeah, okay.
You're talking about the 675 LT.
675 LT.
Yeah, and now they have a 765
765
LT,
LT.
which is going to be even faster than the 720S. But
It was a little bit, yeah,
Yeah.
near the top end.
yeah, so the P1 is a very fast car, needless to say. So it's up there with cars that are really only race cars.
Yeah.
Like you can't even drive them on the street. Like I think there's a Audi R10 race vehicle, which is like a GT4 car. They're up there, so it's in there, and he reckons he can shave 3 seconds off that.
Wow.
So you're looking at a 127 something.
I mean, it must be suspension. It must be
It's everything.
brake. It must be everything.
It's everything.
Because
Well, power to weight ratio. If they can reduce the weight of the
weight.
car and increase the power,
Yeah.
then
Yes.
you're increasing your speed.
And the way the power is delivered as well. So if it's instant torque, and you're talking about 1,000 newton meters of torque or whatever it is, something that'll probably melt tires if you tried it, just any day of the week. So it's got to be a combination of everything. But when I saw it doing the lap time, it looked like a regular Model S, which is what was mind blowing about it. And there was no active aero or nothing like you see these Lambos, like the SVJ. It's got like flaps, and the P1 McLaren's got all these flaps to make it do similar lap times. This just looked like a regular pedestrian family sedan,
yeah.
Wow.
and it's whipping around there at the speed of light. It just boggles the mind.
See, I remember, back in the day when you would go to Eastern Creek or whatever, and you would, if your car did 10 point something, it must have a roll cage.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on now. It's just a normal passenger car now.
Yeah.
So that's amazing.
It is
And
amazing.
Does that mean that you could get played on existing? Oh no,
No.
Right, gotcha.
So-
it's not just a software.
That's
tweak.
right. Yeah. So Plate is going to
Can't
be
be.
the next level of performance that's coming to Tesla.
It's all to do with Spaceballs, just in case people didn't
Yeah,
get a reference.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, same with Ludacris, and before that was
No, that was it.
no, there was
Ludacris
there was
speed.
one before Ludacris, which was on the old Tesla.
Was it?
Yeah.
What's before Ludacris mode?
What's before Ludacris? If you want to Google that, it's
Fast, light speed.
not ridiculous. It's no one would call something ridiculous.
Super
but
fast.
no, but it was
No, I don't remember it. I just remember Ludacris mode.
it was something.
Did everybody get that?
Yeah, what's before Ludacris? Something's before Ludacris, and then it went to Ludacris, and now it's He's Gone Played, right?
Played.
Yeah. What's before Ludacris? Oh, here we go.
Wait, no, pause it. As in, like, we're not going to put this in the podcast. Can we pause the podcast?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, should we just leave it? We can cut it out.
But then, just pause it.
Literally, kind of get going in about 5.
Yeah.
But there was a few things I wanted to.
Yeah,
quickly
okay.
talk
Yeah,
about.
right. Let's do it.
We're back
So,
on.
resume.
Yeah. When you're ready, yeah.
You want
Okay.
your drink? No.
Maybe later. Maybe after.
Played.
Played. Yeah.
Well
so
played.
So we've discovered that if we before Ludacris was actually insane mode on the old P85D Plus or whatever it was. But anyway, so they're going to go Played. A couple of more things I wanted to touch on. So the neural net rewrite is coming for autopilot. That's going to be massive. He said 6 to 8 weeks, and that was approximately 4 to 5 weeks ago. so
Musk time.
it's dropping imminently. But-
Elon time.
but basically, they've got their Dojo supercomputer, training their neural net in the background.
Ah.
Okay. And he actually said if anyone needs to use the dojo, they can. So if anyone's developing an autopilot neural net and needs some dojo time, reach out to Elon Musk.
Are you doing one of those, Simo?
Sweet. Yeah. Okay. Let's
Give
do
him a
that.
call.
Let's do that.
Like, Elon, just use your neural net dojo to train my little thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just call him
Alrighty.
after the stream. Yep,
Yeah.
no worries.
Just hit him
Bring it
up
over
on
tomorrow.
Twitter.
Yeah.
Hit him up on Twitter. Just throw the stuff to his Dropbox. I'm sure he'll.
That's it.
Give you a Wii transfer. God.
So that's coming in. I think that's pretty exciting stuff because that's essentially the rewrite of the neural net is what's going to get us to eventually level 4 and level 5 autonomy, right? Because at the moment, what they're finding is that with the current neural net, the way they're doing object labeling is unsustainable. So they're actually going to transfer a lot more of that 3D object labeling in real time to the neural net instead of having it being done however it was being done, I presume. Right. So, look, basically, what he calls 4D real-time labeling essentially is labeling objects in 3D plus time. So as you're driving down the street and objects are coming at you, the neural net is just saying, okay, that's a person, that's a trash can, that's a stop sign, that's a traffic light, that's a truck, that's a bus. It's labeling these things as you're driving in real time.
Mm-hmm.
And basically that's what is going to enable the vehicle to navigate the real world using just cameras.
Yeah.
And not incorporating things like LiDAR at all. Okay.
That's the big thing. He doesn't have LiDAR in there.
Yeah, and he doesn't want LiDAR. He reckons LiDAR is a fool's errand. And to tell you the truth, if he solves computer vision, the applications for proper computer vision are much more than whatever LiDAR is. Because the problem with LiDAR is that you make static
Scans.
3D maps, okay? And then basically every time your car goes through that area, it knows what that area looks like unless it changes it, and then it has to scan it again. But in order to have full autonomy, you basically have to map the entire surface of the Earth with LiDAR.
Isn't it constantly like mapping, like from like 3 or 4?
It's constantly mapping,
second,
right?
yeah.
But the thing is that with full autonomy, as it's driving along and it's doing these 3D dot mapping, also it doesn't work in fog or rain,
Yeah, that's right.
right?
That's right.
So there's a lot of caveats with LiDAR that have issues, and LiDAR's expensive to fit to cars. So if you're trying to drive the cost of your car down,
Yeah,
you
that's right.
essentially want as many problems to be solved via software as possible.
See,
right?
this is where Tesla is a technology company, because once you solve this autonomous driving problem, you literally solve all problems relating to making a automated system work in the real world.
Yeah.
Drones, robots washing the dishes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I could do with one of them.
Yeah. Operations, heart surgery.
yeah,
I mean, the list is just that wide.
It's
As soon as you do that, and then once you start to iterate and you ramp up, and the things just get better and better, you know, you're going to see superhuman feats from these machines.
Yeah, of course.
You're going to see a robot run and do, you know, a 10, 20, 30 flip somersault in the air and land perfectly. I mean, just, you know, it's just going, they said, you know, you're going to laugh at the machines, and then all of a sudden, boom,
the machines will take you over.
They're just,
Well, funny
Yeah.
you should say that, because actually the way they're landing rockets at SpaceX,
yeah.
prior to them actually doing it, was thought to be impossible. And the way they're doing it is actually using computer vision.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're using
A human
computer
can't
vision
land like
and,
that.
and they're augmenting these rocket boosters,
Just the booster themselves.
and the cold air thrusters
okay.
as well, to basically maneuver this thing. And essentially, it's a modern
hard.
day feat of physics. Like you can't.
You can't, like a human being can't do that. If a human being had the controls,
you can't.
You can't do it.
Yeah.
You can't do it. So, you know, that's another application for computer vision if they do eventually solve it, is space. Right? That's a big thing.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to touch on the computer vision stuff that's coming with the 4D neural net rewrite coming to a Tesla near you. I think that's a massive competitive advantage for them as well. that should probably see the share price increase significantly. So,
and thankfully, neural net is going to be with us maybe in the future, so that I can have real-time stocks delivered right to my head. So I can keep track of.
oh, you mean like neural link?
Neuralink. Sorry,
Neuralink.
sorry.
Yeah,
Did I say Neuralink?
Yeah.
So that I can go. Oh yeah, let's buy it and sell it and whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
I think the algos would probably buy and sell faster than your brain can think.
Yes, the algorithms.
But
Yes.
those
Well, the
quants-
thing is, we're handicapped. We're just human. So
Yeah, true.
we will be the doggies and cat pets of the future.
That's
Yeah.
right. But yeah.
But on that note,
Awesome.
thanks for having me again, guys. It was
Absolute
good
pleasure.
to come and do a quick battery day recap. Honestly, I
you
think
switch to that shot, Simo, the double one,
double shot, Simo.
double shot. Yeah.
Nice. Although my head's in a bag.
Oh, is it?
Let me get it out.
Oh,
in the bag
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
Let me get it out of the bag.
See, this was our attempt at Kubrick point perspective.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
it's
it looks
kind
good.
of it's kind of there.
It's very
kind of not there.
2001-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm sorry, Dave. I can't allow that to happen. Anyway.
Oh,
All right,
nice
Eddie.
one. All right. Well,
Thanks, guys.
yes. Pleasure as always, Eddie. Thank you for your Tesla knowledge and knowledge on all things technology.
Yeah. Thanks for having us, guys.
No worries.
Thank you.
All right. Yay.
That's a wrap.